To order, ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Representative Ballman. Present. Representative Blanton. Here. Representative Bowling. Representative Bridges. Here. Representative Burke.
Here.
Representative Chester Burton. Representative Dossett.
Here.
Representative Dotson. Here. Representative Flannery. Representative Fugate. Here. Representative Gentry.
Here.
Representative Grossberg. Representative Johnson.
Here.
Representative McCool.
Here.
Representative Miles. Here. Representative Smith. Here. Representative Williams. Here. Representative Wesley.
Here.
Representative White. Here. And Chair Gooch.
Here. Okay, we do have a quorum. Want to thank everyone for getting up this morning and coming to the committee meeting. We have several items on the agenda today. First, we will take up Senate Bill 198, Senator Carroll. Welcome. Please introduce yourself and your guest, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I appreciate the opportunity to present this bill today. I'm going to let my name is Danny Carroll, I'm the state senator from the 2nd District, and I'll let these gentlemen introduce themselves.
My name is Kevin Brothers. This is Connor and Logan Ham, and we are from Ballard High School.
Mr. Chairman, I want to just kind of give a little introduction to these gentlemen. Once we filed this nuclear bill, I received a message from Mr. Brothers, and he informed me that he and his colleagues here were part of the 2023 Kentucky Youth Assembly last year. And the bill that they drafted as part of that program had some very similar provisions to what we're presenting here today. And I was pretty excited about that, and I got to thinking about it. I said, why not have these gentlemen here to present today to kind of help them complete their experience from Kentucky Youth Assembly, and I'd like to say that maybe great minds think alike, and so I was very happy to do this. Kind of unusual, and if you all have any questions of them when we get done, please feel free. I know they will be happy to answer those questions. And I'll get into the provisions of the bill, and I'm going to run through these pretty quickly and speak in general terms. You all know this is a product from the nuclear working group that we had back during the summer. Myself and Leader Rudy were the official members, I guess, on that group. Chairwoman Miles has been deeply involved in nuclear, attending many of the national meetings, as has Representative Bridges. And we've all kind of worked together on these efforts and learned as we went. And I think this is a really good product. Within the working group, we had experts, stakeholders from all areas related to nuclear. It was just an outstanding process. Secretary Goodman hosted this working group, the Energy Environment Cabinet, and Director Stump kind of quarterbacked everything, and Kenya did an outstanding job. And it was a great experience with the legislative and the executive branch coming together, along with academia, experts from the nuclear field, the utilities, and we produced a pretty good product that's gotten some national attention as far as the report that was drafted as a result of that working group. To begin with, in Section 1, the bill first establishes the Kentucky Nuclear Energy Development Authority, which is attached to the University of Kentucky Center for Applied Energy Research for administrative purposes only. This authority will serve as a non-regulatory trusted state government agency on nuclear issues and development within the Commonwealth. The bill sets up the advisory board consisting of 22 voting members and 8 non-voting members. It establishes that the director of the UK Center for Applied Energy Research as the chair of the advisory board. That's Dr. Andrews. And it also directs the advisory board to hire a director of the authority who has the skills to carry out the purposes of the authority. The bill establishes all the membership of the authority, establishes all the purposes of the authority, which are primarily to educate the Commonwealth on nuclear energy and associated industry, to be a clearinghouse for all things related to nuclear. There are some other provisions I'll get to in just a second that also kind of expand on that. In Section 2, the bill directs the authority, with the permission from the advisory board, to develop and adopt the criteria for awarding a voluntary nuclear-ready community designation. The purpose of this is to allow communities to prepare for nuclear, and if they are open to that, they take steps to educate their community. They pass resolutions, ordinances in favor of that, or perhaps even putting it to a public vote. And they must also have a site that is suitable for nuclear within their community. So it's just a way for them to open the door to industry that might be coming to the state, so they know which communities are going to be receptive of this, and kind of expedites the process. Section 3 directs the Cabinet for Economic Development to create and implement a financial assistance program fund for the development and location of nuclear energy-related projects to support the entire nuclear ecosystem in the Commonwealth. And this is just a fund that would be set aside for nuclear projects. Many states are doing this. We talked to Tennessee. They've put up about $50 million for that. We talked with Virginia. We've had conversations with Utah through this whole process, and many states are investing millions of dollars to get in the forefront of this, to attract this industry to their states. The bill gives some examples on the types of projects that would fall within the nuclear ecosystem. Section 4 establishes the initial term of the advisory board. Section 5 directs the authority to conduct a study to identify the workforce and educational needs to develop and support the nuclear ecosystem within the Commonwealth. Section 6 directs the authority to contract for services to produce a site suitability study to identify the best potential locations for nuclear reactors and other facilities related to the nuclear ecosystem. And I want to make it clear, we're not focusing just on attracting a nuclear reactor or nuclear reactors to this Commonwealth. We are focusing on the entire industry, manufacturing, IT type positions, whatever might come along with that, to make sure that Kentucky has the workforce to attract those business. And that could be from an educational standpoint, nuclear engineer, from a trade standpoint, nuclear welding. And so we hope to identify what our needs are through this study. Section 7 directs the authority to contract for services to develop and implement an educational and marketing plan to educate the public on modern nuclear energy technologies, and to provide information on potential benefits of nuclear power generation and other applications for nuclear energy technologies. And
We have a motion and a second on the bill. Senator, you talked about the financial assistance fund. And of course, you mentioned what Tennessee does, which is no consequence to us. What are you thinking, and is there effort to put how many dollars into the state budget for this financial assistance fund?
Okay, as it stands right now in the Senate budget bill, $75 million has been appropriated towards nuclear. It is distributed in a different way than what I'm proposing. And as far as the financial aspect, the fiscal aspect of this goes, we will know next week with the conference committee what comes out of that. And if the funding is not there to fund these projects that I mentioned, these programs that I mentioned, then one or two things will happen. I will ask Representative Bridges to file a floor amendment to amend those things that require funding, or I'll just ask leadership within the House not to call the bill up. I don't want to direct anyone to do anything if we don't have the funding there. I think those final decisions are yet to be made. And To answer your question, Mr. Chairman, a $50 million appropriation is what has been requested, and that would part of it would cover operations for the staff for this authority. There would be $2 million for the site suitability study, $2 million for the education and marketing campaign, $100,000 for the workforce and educational needs study, and the Nuclear Ready Communities program, $100,000 for that. And then there's a $250,000 each year of the biennium in conjunction with Senate Joint Resolution 140 that I would present in just a moment that would fund the efforts of the Public Service Commission to do what we're asking them to do. And for the financial assistance program within economic development, and it'd be structured much like their current financial programs where incentives are offered. It would just have to be specifically related to a nuclear project, and then the authority would be the one who they would turn to determine whether or not this was a viable project worth investing in. And that amount is $27 million, $25,000 the first year, $22,975,000 the second year, and the total of the appropriation request again is $50 million.
Okay. I think that this bill is needed because, Kentucky wants to establish ourselves as someone that's open to nuclear or friendly to nuclear. I think there are a lot of opportunities, as you mentioned, in the other things as far as maybe nuclear technologies, those types of things. This is personal opinion, but I don't think anyone I've talked to has disagreed that when you're talking about nuclear generation for electricity, I don't think there's anyone that sees anything happening in Kentucky for at least 12 to 15 years.
I think that's an accurate statement. What we are seeing is there is a concerted effort with the federal government to streamline the regulatory process and the application process. So I think we're going to see that length of time that it takes to get through all of that, we're going to see that shortened, I think, in very large measure before it's over with. And these are efforts that are going on all over this country. They believe that by the year 2050, we're going to need 300 small modular reactors in this country to meet the energy demands that we have. And for us, I'm getting messages from all the unions that are excited about the possibilities that this could bring to Kentucky, from the universities with the degrees, being able to expand the vocational schools. So this is pretty much has the potential to be a game changer for this state and to boost our economy up to the next level. And we are in historical times related to energy right now. We're converting over, and nuclear is going to be the primary base load of energy in the future. Not that I'm saying we turn away from coal by any means. We need to keep an all of the above approach for now and as we move forward, but eventually that's what's going to happen. Nuclear fusion, which is the power of the stars and the sun, that technology is being perfected. And when that becomes commercially viable, that's going to change this world as far as energy goes. It's basically an unlimited supply of energy that is free of waste. So that's where we are as a world, and it's pretty exciting. So I try to control my enthusiasm for all of this, but my colleagues that have been through this with me, they understand where we are and the potential and how crucial it is that Kentucky get out in front of this.
Well, and I do think that, as you said, one of the real impediments is that it seems that the federal government is requiring just as much permitting time to issue something for a small modular nuclear reactor than they would a wholesale facility. And I just don't want us to spend money in Kentucky prematurely because I think, as you said, that's where the real thing needs to. Yeah. That's what really. And
that's why we designated this fund not to go directly towards a reactor, but to keep it open to any industry. As they start implementing these small modular reactors, there's going to be manufacturing that goes along with that, and the technology that goes along with that, all the parts. So there are lots of opportunities that could dip into this fund that the Economic Development Cabinet could use to attract these businesses and industry to our state.
Okay. I know we do have, yes, where's that, Miles? What? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to ask a question of your colleagues that are sitting there beside of you. You said that they joined part of KYA. Nuclear is something that you all had an interest in. I'm assuming you all had a bill that was moving forward. And so kind of tell us what your bill did and if it passed and what your vision of and interest of nuclear is.
Yes, ma'am. So we did participate in December in the Kentucky Youth Assembly, and our bill was very similar to Senator Carroll's in the fact that we were interested in bringing nuclear to Kentucky as a form of economic boost because it's an industry that can really be placed anywhere with the small modular reactors, as Senator Carroll mentioned, in places like Western and Eastern Kentucky where a lot of businesses are pulling out because of lack of infrastructure. There's not many businesses. And as the coal industry loses more and more people to, just them pulling out and going to places that are cheaper and overseas. And we're seeing a lot of people out there get unemployment. And it's really hard on those places where, my family's from because they don't have any other places to go. There's not any other factories there. There's not places you can go. And up in the mountains, you can't build warehouses. And so this is something that these people can go to. They can go to school and get these very good jobs that are based on nuclear. So this is a lot more than just power for Kentucky, which we're okay with right now. We've got all the energy we can need for the moment. But this is more about the people who are living there and the jobs that this can bring them. And nuclear is something that I've been very personally interested in for years. And so when I got the opportunity to write this bill for KYA, it was a great honor. And I was really happy to see it pass through almost the entire thing. And then at the end, it did get vetoed by the what was it?
Mayor, the House.
It was, I think it was the mayor of the committee. And then we were able to actually overturn that ruling at the end of the conference. And so we were very happy to see that. Yes. So we were very happy to see it come. And I just want to say thank you to Senator Carroll for allowing us to come here. This is a great opportunity.
May I have one follow-up?
Certainly.
And what was the price tag of your bill, just by chance?
That's not fair.
For our bill, we were more focused on the committee. We didn't have a fund for projects like that. We mainly just used this as a committee to say for regulation, permits, and other things like that. And we actually took funding from the Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Fund, which has over $300 million in funding. And so we dipped into that and pulled it out and really.
That's creative.
You will learn, but we do appreciate. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for sharing.
Guys, do y'all have anything to add?
Okay, he got it.
Okay. Any other questions?
One other thing I want to add, just recently, I think in the last couple of weeks, it was announced that in another state, there was one of these technology companies, and I don't know if it's that they do data mining, that one of these that uses a high amount of electricity, they actually purchased their own nuclear reactor to power their business. In Texas, Dow Chemical is with one of their facilities there. They're about to build 4 small modular reactors, and that will power that plant, and it'll also provide the heat for their chemical processes. So this opens up a whole new world. Think about Eastern Kentucky in the mountains. Think about being able to put some type of facility there, manufacturing, and having their own power on site and not having to worry about the infrastructure. There are so many possibilities with this in the future, and we're already seeing it. There are over 100 companies in this country that are working on new technologies in fuel, recycling, you name it. It's all happening now, not just in the United States, but all over the world, and it's pretty exciting.
Senator, thank you. I wish I could share your enthusiasm. I think one of the things, though, that does concern me is, when some of the people in this room aren't old enough to remember 3 Mile Island or Chernobyl or some of those things, and at a point where we were pretty much ready to get off of nuclear completely, and somehow now, 40 years later, we're talking about somehow the cleanest, greenest source for energy out there, and I hope that is the case, because certainly it does not emit carbon, and it is baseload generation, and so it fits the bill for a lot of things that we do need.
It does, and it's important to remember it's a different world in nuclear. It's not the same. The technologies, the advancement in fuels, there are fuels now that basically shut themselves down. And all these advancements are making it much safer from the gas reactors, sodium reactors, with the small modular micro reactors, and the technology. And I would encourage all of you, Google advanced nuclear power and read a little bit about what's happening. And it's almost weekly that there are more advancements in this technology, and it's making it safer. And that's one of the battles that we have in this Commonwealth, is to educate our people so they understand this is not the same, and it is much safer, and the price will come down eventually as it expands. I don't know that we'll see a lot of the large-scale reactors in the future because of the cost, but that cost will also come down in time as the technologies advance. And we learn something with every trip that we take, something else new that comes along, and so I don't think, the reality of it is that's not a concern any longer. But educating our Commonwealth to get them comfortable with that, because of the site in Paducah and the waste there and the cleanup, and Maxey Flats with that issue, and I know that has left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths because of those things, but it's a different world today, and we just have to make sure our people know that, and we educate them on that, and the potential that we have to improve our lives in this Commonwealth.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second on the bill. Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Representative Ballman,
Yes.
Representative Blanton,
Aye.
Representative Bowling, Representative Bridges, Representative Burke,
Yes.
Representative Chester Burton,
Yes.
Representative Dossett,
Yes.
Representative Dotson,
Yes.
Representative Flannery,
I'd like to vote yes and record my attendance.
Representative Fugate,
Yes.
Representative Gentry,
Yes.
Representative Grossberg,
Enthusiastic yes, and please record my attendance.
Representative Johnson,
Yes.
Representative McCool, Representative Miles,
Yes.
Representative Smith, Representative Wesley, Representative White,
Yes, with a little reservation, yes.
Representative Williams, and Chair Gooch.
Yes. Okay, the bill does pass with favorable expression. The same should pass. While you're there, let's get into Senate. Let's see, HJR 121. No, that's not right.
This is
Sorry.
SJR 140.
140. Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill basically directs the Public Service Commission to make all staffing, organizational, and administrative preparations necessary to be ready to discharge its regulatory duties relating to applications for the siting and construction of nuclear energy facilities in the Commonwealth. And then it gives a list that includes but not limited to. And it's just a general direction, and we did meet with them and went over all this, and that's part of the appropriations to help them prepare. But what we don't want is for there to be an application filed in the Commonwealth, and they have to spend a year just preparing to address that application. We want to get out in front of it and expedite the process as much as we can.
Oh, and then was that related to the Public Service Commission or?
Public Service Commission, yes, Mr. Chairman.
Right, okay. And the reason that I'm glad you mentioned that is that I think Section 2 and 3 of the resolution probably could contain some things that would certainly be increased cost to the Public Service Commission as far as staffing and specific training and those sort of things. And when we look at, we're going to probably take up House Bill 349 pretty soon, and that also I think will put some extra costs on the Public Service Commission, and just want to make sure that we are providing for those costs, or at least, as I said earlier, kind of scaling back the timeline, because some of these things may not be needed as soon as we might think that they are.
I agree with that. We also need to be careful and not wait too long. But I agree with you completely. We do need to make sure they have the funding, and I know they have staffing issues as it stands.
Yes.
And then you add this specialty on, it is going to be increased demands, and we do need to make sure we fund that.
Yeah.
But the dividends will be great.
Okay. All right. Motion, second. Any questions? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Representative Ballman,
Yes.
Representative Blanton,
Aye.
Representative Bowling, Representative Bridges, Representative Burke,
Yes.
Representative Chester Burton,
Yes.
Representative Dossett,
Yes.
Representative Dotson, Representative Flannery,
Yes.
Representative Fugate,
Yes.
Representative Gentry,
Yes.
Representative Grossberg,
Yes.
Representative Johnson,
Yes.
Representative McCool, Representative Miles, Representative Smith, Representative Wesley, Representative White,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
and Chair Gooch.
Yes. Okay, it also passes with favorable expression. Senator, thank you so much. Appreciate your hard work on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank Jeff Harmon, who's with our legal staff. He has been huge in helping put all this together. Stefan Kaskavich drafted the bill and has just done an outstanding job. His expertise in this area has been very valuable, and I appreciate everyone who's helped contribute to this. It's been very much a team effort.
Thank you.
Thank you, committee.
Okay, next we're going to do Senate Joint Resolution 149. Senator Smith is not here, but we're going to let some folks do that as well. Please state your name and introduce yourself for the record, and your floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Good morning. I'm Rusty Kress here on behalf of the National Waste and Recycling Association.
And I'm Kate Woodhall here on behalf of Republic Services, who is a member of the association.
Mr. Chairman, Senate Joint Resolution 149 is a resolution about per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Come on, usually that gets me emotion just for being able to say it. It's not a regulated substance or group of substances at this point. The federal government is looking at it, and it raises some concerns with treatment facilities, how much they have to treat, what it's going to cost to treat. I said I'm here on behalf of NWRA, but we have a multitude of clients that are just peering over and really needing the help of the Energy and Environment Cabinet. And the Cabinet does have good, solid expertise when it comes to the treatment of PFAS. So all this does is, if requested by an entity that discharges from a publicly owned treatment works, then the cabinet must provide guidance and consult with that regulated entity on the best practices for treatment of the materials. Now, part of that, they have to provide what are considered options for treatment, a cost-benefit analysis of the treatment options, and the availability of funding for those options. So we.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just I know that at one point we had a presentation from the Energy Cabinet on this issue, and I know a lot of talk at the federal level. So I guess the main point of this is just trying to make sure that they give a planning process. Is that just kind of best case scenario of?
Less of a planning, Representative Miles, than it is an implementation and treatment. A lot of times people, you'll hear the term activated carbon being the best way for treatment of wastewater discharges. There are others out there that I've heard even in the last couple of weeks on how to best go about treatment. So the cabinet stays on top of that. I will not speak for them because they are here, but we talk on a daily basis about how best to deal with this.
Thank you.
Representative Ballman,
Yes.
Representative Blanton,
Aye.
Representative Bowling, Representative Bridges, Representative Burke,
Yes.
Representative Chester Burton,
Yes.
Representative Dossett,
Yes.
Representative Dotson, Representative Flannery,
Yes.
Representative Fugate, Representative Gentry,
Yes.
Representative Grossberg,
Yes.
Representative Johnson,
Yes.
Representative McCool, Representative Miles,
Yes.
Representative Smith, Representative Wesley,
Yes.
Representative White,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
and Chair Gooch.
Yes. Bill does pass with favorable expression that same should pass. Members, I know a lot of you have other committee meetings. I have another one as well.